Welcome to Checking In with Dr. B, a space dedicated to live conversations with those who have found and lived their joy. Today, Arddin Herbert is in the room, a dedicated father and a multi-talented musician, composer, and arranger. Arden, over the years, has focused his musical skills on the steel pan and its orchestra, the Steelband. The Steelband is an orchestra of acoustic instruments first created in the Twin Island Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, and today it brings joy to persons around the world. Arden has successfully arranged for major steel bands in the US, the UK, and of course, in the home of the steel band, Trinidad and Tobago. Hello, Arden.
Hi, Dr. V.
How are you doing?
Pretty good. Blessed.
I like that. I like that. Blessed is good. Blessed is
blessed is
good.
blessed is always good.
So let's jump right in. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
That's one of the questions because of my personality that I always find trouble answering. Um, but I can speak to my beginnings, my humble beginnings, um, and where it took me, and where I intend for it to go, or where I'm trying to go. Um, I started off playing piano, getting involved in music, and I believe it was 1980. Yeah. And my involvement stemmed from what I would call necessity to preserve sanity. And because my mother, when she used the milk cans, the condensed milk and the evaporated milk, she would throw it out. And I would take it out of the garbage because I didn't have any other traditional instruments. I didn't have anything. So I would bang on those things over and over and over. And noise could be very nerve-wracking for parents. Um, so she told my father, listen to me, you have to do something with this young man because it was driving her crazy. So this is why I said necessity to preserve sanity.
Necessity to preserve sanity. I like that. I like that.
So my father said, "Hey, do you want to play pan?" And I was like, "Yes." Now I had no idea what pan was, but I just figured that if my father is asking me if I want to do something, he's going to lead me in the right direction. So I said yes, and we went up to the Invaders Steel Orchestra. At that time, they were sponsored by Trintalk. We went to Invaders, a Juve, that was in 1979. And he had a friend that used to play bass. So I rode on the bass rack for the whole Juve. And I was really excited. I enjoyed it.
Now,
um,
Arden, for those people who don't, who when you say bass, they think doom, 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 doom. When you say bass, what are you talking about?
well, the equivalent to a bass in an orchestra is the lowest range in the steel orchestra. It's six basses that have the same function as I say, a bass in in an orchestra. Say it's the lowest instrument. And it was how much band she was playing? She was playing six basses.
So
Yes,
six full, right around.
yes, six 55-gallon oil drums because back then it was actually oil drums, not now where they have specially made uh, drums. So yeah, so I enjoyed the entire Juve morning, um, and I joined the stateside that following year. Um, as a matter of fact, that year, and started playing 1980 with the Invaders Steel Orchestra. Um, Now, fortunate, well, as I said, I am blessed, and I've always been been blessed. The There was a member of Invaders who was also a teacher at Queen's Royal College, Miss Geraldine Connors. So she asked my father, he seems talented because I guess she saw something in me. So she said, hey, do you want him to do some music, some theory? And he said, well, yeah. I said, well, fine. So I started music theory with Geraldine. Um, and then when I went to Trinity, lo and behold, there was another individual,
Now, Trinity is three in
Trinity,
one.
Trinity College,
Uh,
Trinity College, uh, which is equivalent to, say, the high school level in North America. So it's not Trinity College in terms of a 4-year degree program. Um, and again, I was blessed to have met yours truly, Dr. B, who, and as I say, it is such a privilege and honor to be on this program. Um, you have been such an integral and significant aspect of my nurturing and development, the person who I have become. Um, and you have not just been a teacher, but you have been a mentor, a counselor many times, a mother, and most of all, a friend. Um, they always say that all superheroes don't wear capes. And you are one of those superheroes that don't wear cape and have mask on, and it's illuminated there. Um, so again, I was eternally blessed to have people around me, my parents, the teachers, mentors, because they also say that it takes a village to raise a child. And
that's true.
in Invaders Steel Orchestra, there were so many people that helped me along the way. So my talent grew and grew and grew. I entered numerous competitions. I won a number of them. Um,
Also, you did your own composition, which was
right.
different and exciting.
Yeah. We'll get to that in terms of, say, some of the more, I guess, notable aspects of things that I did. Um, and because of my God-given talents and people that helped me along the way, I found a voice, and my voice gave me a platform in which I can then pass that on to others. Fortunately, again, I got a scholarship in 1989 from the Caribbean American Sports and Cultural Youth Movement, CASM. It's affectionately known as CASM, but that's the abbreviation for Caribbean American Sports and Cultural Youth Movement. And they were based in Brooklyn, New York. Um, I attended uh, Brooklyn Conservatory of Music, Brooklyn College. Got my music degree in composition there. Um, and as you indicated, I have been affiliated with a number of bands. I've arranged for a number of bands, and my home band, Invaders, which is currently sponsored by Shell, Shell Oil Company. Um, that is, my navel string is buried there. I grew up there, I learned there, and that is where I am currently. Um, One of the things that I'm actually working on with Invaders is what we call the PDI, which is a player development initiative.
Oh,
Um,
tell us a little bit more about that. Tell me a little bit more.
right. Now, traditionally, when people think of player development, they think of just, I guess, the technical aspect of playing, the proficiency, the music literacy aspect. But we are going a step further. Um, we believe in a more holistic approach where, in fact, you're not just learning that, but in addition to that, the business aspect of PAN, the marketing aspect of PAN, being able to do public speaking. So, the whole financial contracts, etc. Now, none of this is new because there isn't anything really new under the sun, but the approach is different from just a player development program. And it's like wanting to be the Amazon of Pan in terms of Amazon doesn't make any products, but they can get it to you. They will source it and they will get it to you. So, getting under that umbrella where you can get everything like a one-stop shop, that's the approach. And we're supposed to be launching that sometime next year. And I am hoping that individuals or companies or groups do things like that. I don't believe in, well, we doing it and let's keep it to ourselves. It should be replicated, duplicated, emulated, because the pie is big enough for everybody. So that's one of the things in terms of you know giving back and mentoring. You know a part of that and spearheading that initiative.
I like that idea, especially, and it's another example of you using your voice to help others and hopefully other bands and groups, because the steel orchestras are really community driven. So that when you do that, the whole community benefits.
Definitely. And as you mentioned, community. One of the things that I did in Kasim, Kasim wasn't just a steel orchestra or a steel band. Now that was one of the most successful programs, but Kasim was actually or is a non-profit organization that provides academic, social, recreational activities for young people between the age of 6 to 25. And the main aim was to provide a positive alternative to street life. So it it was geared towards reducing delinquency. So again, I've been surrounded and thrown in because sometimes you don't know what your purpose is. You may be heading down a certain road, but that really isn't your purpose. That isn't your why until it just hits you. That is your why. That is your purpose. And I remember some years ago, we were rehearsing for Panorama Invaders, and one of the players that played in Kasim probably about 15 years prior to that, came by the Ampania. I guess they came for Carnival, and they said, "Arden, can I speak to you for 1 second?" I said, "Sure, sure." And they said, they just wanted to thank me for all I did for them because the lessons taught and the methods, sometimes they even said sometimes the firm approach really helped them in their lives, and this is non-musical. So it sometimes you don't think that people are listening. Sometimes you don't think that you're actually being effective or having an impact,
Yeah.
but you certainly do. And you know, when you have a talent, when you have a gift, we need to use it in a positive manner.
And what interests me there too is in speaking about that person, it seemed as if they really appreciated the structure. You know, when you think of the arts, you think of, oh, everything is here, there, and everywhere. But there's a structure, there's discipline to it.
There's definitely it's equivalent to sometimes you visit a panyard and it seems as though it's chaos because the tenors are releasing one line, one section. The basses are doing whatever. The quads, the cellos, the double tenors. Everybody's doing their own thing. So it just sounds like total madness and total chaos. But lo and behold, that is a part of the process.
Part of the process.
Yeah. And then it just it evolves.
Yes.
So there is definitely structure. Sometimes you have to be a part of the culture or understand the culture to understand how impactful and beneficial the steel orchestra is in everyday life. Um,
One of the interesting things in you spoke about in everyday life and this and the culture, because the culture is not only it's not only in Trinidad and Tobago, but it has been exported to the UK, Africa, countries in Africa, China, Japan, Australia. So this way of being has taken over the world.
Definitely, it's on every continent. Pan is so global. Um, and one of the things that in growing up, and I've heard so much dedicated um, players and arrangers and management speak about is that we're not taking this sort of strategic approach to really let this thing fly, to really reach such an optimal level because of the international and global reach that Pan has been able to attain. So um, through education, through marketing, um, it is important that and it's not up to just one person or one organization to lead. It's up to everyone if in fact you are committed, if in fact you are passionate, to ensure that we grow the industry. Um, we have to do the boring work.
I like that. Boring work.
Yeah, it's because a seed grows very quietly. We don't need it. We don't need noise. We don't need. Hey, I'm doing this. Just take time, water, fertilize, and it's gonna grow.
Like that analogy. Seed grows quietly. That's the name of your next book.
Well, certainly you will be a part of that because it's just okay. Let's talk about the seagull.
Seagull, yes.
Yes, the seagull. Um, Now the seagull is one of my well, it is my first composition that I ever did that won the first World Steelband Festival in 1988.
Yes.
And the way the seagull came about, because let me see, in 1983, I came fifth in school festival. Um, yeah, fifth. I know in 1987, I won the
Soloist.
soloist, right. So, soloist. Thank you. Right. So, and every year from 83, 84, 85, 86, I was playing and making finals, coming second, third, etc. And 1988, because from 1984, you were my music teacher, giving me all the scores, etc. So 88 comes, And I'm saying, okay, what we doing? And you looked at me like, yes, what are we doing? I said, well, I don't know. You're gonna choose something. You said, well, why don't you write something yourself? And I looked at you like, what? And you had this very blank look like, yeah, I'm serious, yeah, like, yeah. So I'm like, seriously? And you're like, yeah. So with that mandate given, plus my father had given me prior to that, I listened to and read the book of Jonathan Livingston Seagull,
Yes.
um, and it was very inspiring. Then, prior to 1988, when Woodtrin, which was a combination of Woodbrook Secondary and Trinity College, we had to learn the national anthem. And I was teaching a guy, and we did the intro, but he was having real problems with the last couple notes of the intro. Dun, da, da, dun, da, 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 dum. And I'm giving him la da 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 dum, and he's playing everything else. So I'm like, I'm going over and over. So I said this da 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 over and over, and I'm like, da 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 da. And I just always kept that. So when you gave me the mandate, I said, you know what? Let me start there, and it just unfolded. Um, and apart from just composing, um, you ensured that I scored it by hand. We didn't have no music software to, so it was, and then you say, um, that stem isn't straight enough. And then so it was no, and it made me so much better being challenged. And again, fortunately, with God's grace, I won the first music festival. And mind you, it was the first time that anyone ever won festival with their own piece, soloist.
Yes.
So I was very grateful for that. And
And I can say that that inspired quite a few other young pianists to start composing their own.
composing, yes, yes, definitely, definitely. Um, Because even Liam Teague, he saw me and he said, it is because of the Seagull that he started to compose. I think it's either a visit to hell or hands like lightning. I can't remember which one, but he started so that and that was also inspiring to know that something that I did was able to inspire others, to do and keep on doing better, because I mean this race we are in, the race never ends. That battle got to keep passing. So it is really nice to be able to contribute to the existing body of and history of what has gone on and what is going on.
Speaking about that, Arden, we need to get that copy of The Seagull so that the youngsters can.
Definitely, I will make sure you have one.
Right.
Um, as soon as I get it to you, because
Respect.
the right, yes, because I think what year was that? 19.
87, it might have been, was it?
No, that was 1988.
88, okay.
But no, there was the festival in
Hmm.
1997, where I was asked to do the Seagull in orchestral form, and I
Ah,
did that and send it to Arima Secondary, and I think they actually won music festival, school festival. Then,
was it? Okay, that
yeah,
was Mommy's school. So,
yeah, that's with Maureen Clement.
no, Maureen, no, Maureen was with, if it was Maureen, it would have been a different school. But we'll have to track it down and then we can link it to the website so people
Definitely,
can get it. All right.
definitely.
So that's the homework from from this
I-
interview.
Is this another mandate?
Mandate.
Is this another homework assignment?
It's a mandate. We need to have the seagull
Are you
ready.
marking on say a curve or anything? No, it's just
Just need to have it.
ah,
So, but Arden, over the years, did you, because you've grown in strength, but did you find that there were times in the journey, in your journey, where there were naysayers? And if you did find that, what did you do?
well, then they're naysayers now. You know, yes, there will always be naysayers, and that is the noise that is going to be there. Um, there are always going to be negative people, regardless what you come up with. That solution is never good enough for them. So, you just block them out, or you can use their energy and turn it around and have that propel you. Don't allow that to consume you.
I like that idea
Yeah,
of using negative energy to propel your positive energy. I like that.
yeah, yeah. You just turn it around. A sort of mirror effect. It comes and you just take it and you just reflect it back. Um, but you have to, and it's easy for for me to say, well, you have to be strong. When you're in the moment, it's different. But looking back, what I can say is, if stay steadfast and unwavering, you will see it through. You will see it through. Um, and I mean, apart from the naysayers, sometimes life throws you all sorts of curveballs, because you always think that you have the plan, you have that roadmap. This is where I'm going, and this is when I'm gonna get there. This is how I am gonna get there. And
Right.
there's so much things that happen. There's so much bumps in the road, so much potholes in the road. Um, and you have to stay true and committed. Um, there there were three events that I can remember now. Well, and I'm more, but that shaped my thinking,
Mm-hmm.
shaped my life, or shaped how I got out of adversity. Um, One was when I returned home in 1990. I had started college and I returned home and went to the went to get my student visa,
Yeah.
and I was denied, and my current indefinite visa was cancelled. So I was not allowed to travel back to New York to continue to pursue um, my undergrad degree. That was devastating. It was frustrating. It was depressing. Um, and sometimes we don't know what another person is going through. All sorts of crazy thoughts started to flow, because there, there were times I said, which I don't know why the hole just don't open in the earth, and I just you think you actually go through a lot. Um, and sometimes we tend to not trying to compare my depression with, say, mental illness, but mental illness is real. We don't know what other people go through, um, and if for some reason you feel depressed or at a really low point, there will always be someone to help you. Trust me when I say that. um, be it your God, believe in your God, um, be it a family member, a friend, some sort of professional service, that someone can help you, a positive person, not just any and anyone. There's always someone there. Um, and I had a lot of support during that really tough time. I was 19,
Yeah.
and yeah, it was really tough. But doors opened up. I became the temporary music teacher at Trinity College,
Yes.
um, which was quite exciting because there I am now thrown into a staff room of adults and teachers who taught me, and now I'm sitting across from teachers, having grown folk conversation. Now it was kind of weird at times, but that transition, it was interesting. And then I had to also teach students that were my friends,
Would
people
be
I
your
know.
friends.
So
Yes.
right, so it was really an interesting time. Um, and again, fortunately, I got the necessary help, because I remember, there were so much people that tried to help people from Trinidad, the Ministry of Culture, the Prime Minister office, the President's office. I mean, it was, I had a lot of support in being able to resolve that situation. And so again, with your low points, when you feel low in life, believe. Believe in your God. Trust that He will ensure, because He doesn't give you more than you can bear. You trust, you believe things will work out. It doesn't just, it isn't a snap of the finger, because we don't control and say, hey, I need this to pass from me right now. It don't work like that.
Yes.
But you have to believe. And out of that experience, I composed a song called Route 9091. And it was basically a reflection of what I went through in 1990 and 1991. Um, and it was actually used for music festival, school music festival, as a test piece in 1995. 1995, yeah, yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, and some of the feedback that I got was, "What kind of madness is this? This thing so fast, this thing so difficult." And I felt good because I didn't see it as criticism, but
Yeah.
it was actually a reflection of what I was going through at that point.
Ah, yes, yes. All the
So
chaos, all the
yes, the despair, So I used that experience and I channeled into composing something, towards that.
wow. So, do you find that most of your compositions now come out of your experience? And do those compositions, once they're out, once they're birthed, do they give you that joy that maybe the experiences
You
maybe?
know what? That is because I mean I don't consciously sit down and say, well, I'm going to do this because of this, so that I think subconsciously it is a way of venting. Um, yeah, it is. It's just a way of venting or dealing with the things that life presents. Um, Apart from Route 9091, I did another one called Coercion, which 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 was or which is a combination of being coerced and fusion. Um, at that time, I was studying with Dr. Tanya Leon, from Brooklyn College, and my major music and specializing in composition. So I did a bunch of compositions for pan and string and pan and harp and stuff. And but there was this one semester that I had to practically be forced to do it. So I actually
Why did you have to be forced to do it? That
well,
semester? What was happening?
okay, I needed to. I was supposed to. I didn't want to do it's it's like that mandate. Like I'm always pushed by a mandate. So um time was and I just felt that I probably didn't want to do probably that specific style of music. I think it was dealing with minimalism, etc. So I was like, and time was going, and time was going, and time was going, and I end up doing a pretty nice piece. I actually won the Institute for Studies in American Music at Brooklyn College, as well as the Maurice Lieberman Award. So
Oh,
I have this
it's good
knack
to be
for,
close into that
yeah,
scene.
yeah, and because I do also remember that Woodtrin, the same band, Woodbrook and Trinity, um, or was it just, yes, went to the University of Miami. We had a we had a really nice concert to prepare for, and in the dress rehearsals, because Arddin Herbert feel that he real good. He didn't have to practice. I see you laughing. He didn't have to practice. So for the dress rehearsal, everything is going nice. Okay, we tried the song, we coming along, right? And then it's time for the soloist. So yours truly get up there and starts to play. Yours truly wasn't playing well at all.
It wasn't coming.
It wasn't happening. And that's because of lack of practice. Just went there and I just figured, hey, I can do it without practicing. So, of course, Dr. B, very in customary form, said, okay, it's okay, we'll go to the next song. So the band started to, we proceeded and we did the entire dress rehearsal. So, of course, I thought, well, hey, I dodged the bullet here. Now, part of the band stayed on the university campus. Unfortunately for me, or
Oh,
unfortunately for me, um, I stayed with Dr. P. So we get back to our residence, and I'm getting all ready, eating stuff, and I just heard, you will go and you will practice. And I went and I'm practicing, and I'm tired. So I decided to take a rest. And as if, and I know you about this story, as if Dr. B hears me stop, the music stop. And I felt as if this boomerang of a footwear came around the hall into the bedroom. Pow! Hit me. I got up my practice again,
are
and
you
it went back.
serious?
That's how I felt. That's how I felt. No, but when we performed the next day, it was a flawless performance. And again, I have to thank you for your methodology. You know, we the band members will always talk how you're just so quiet. You don't ever raise your voice. You just give us an eye. Like, did you get the eye? Like, yeah, we get the eye. Like, it's just a and you knew what that eye meant. And everyone has a different style. That style may not work for me, but you have been so unique in and so unique and effective. I was even speaking to Ben Jackson couple days ago, and we were talking about festival and how important music festival was to the technical development of the young players. Um, and he always recalled um, when we won festival in 87. Um, yes, 87 with
Yeah,
the Andrew Tanker. Right, yes.
okay.
How he was so amazed how we were in the room and all singing and vocalizing the entire song. We weren't playing. And, you know, he said he even used that because that is what you did. Us. You had us singing our parts, singing. And he said that was so effective that he used that when he did Success Pan song, Success Laventil, and School, and he said it was so effective. So y- you have started a, as well a trend, and you have impacted people who you didn't even directly have contact with. Just wait, oh, I like that. So yeah, Dr. B, you have been very, very impactful. Very, 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 very impactful.
Well, it's good to know. Hopefully, it's impactful in a good way. And you have continued, and you do so much with the young people, and with so many others who are now themselves. Because I remember years ago at the university, as one of your students came to the university, and I said, that was Quent, and I said,
Okay.
oh, this is my grand student.
Gra- oh, yeah. There. I mean, there's so much talent, and the most that I can do is just use my gift, use my blessings, use my fortune, um, because when when you have a talent, it is like this fresh rose. When you abuse or don't use your talent in that right way, it's like you're just plucking off the petals and leaving the thorns.
Hmm.
So it's important for us to, as I say, just keep nurturing, watering, just taking care. And it's gonna go because like one of the things that I am never concerned with, people say, so what you want your legacy to be? What I want my legacy to be and what it's gonna be is two different things. And it's gonna be whatever it's gonna be. All I can do is just try my best, and history and people would decide what my legacy is. I can't decide what my no, I can do things that maybe people will say whatever, but at the end of the day, um, it's what people would say about you. You can have all the accomplishments and all the achievements because another thing that I always prefer is an individual that have off stage or off court humility.
Humility.
When you're on stage, of course, you could flare and this and be, as I say, oh God, if you too good, that's fine. But it's what, in my opinion, what you do off stage, that humility, um, that's what I look for. That's what I aim to be. So the legacy is there. It's gonna be whatever it's gonna be. And yeah, you just try to, do the best you can and be as righteous as you can.
I like that. And I like the analogy of the rose because it's so true. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It is what you look forward to in the future. Arden, tell me, is there ever a time when when you think that you'll move away from music, or is music your passion? Is that the soul? Is that
Hmm. There are, or there have been times, short times, when when I sometimes think, you know what, I had enough. Um, and then I find myself back in it. Um, I remember when my father passed, um, and then I was contacted by Invaders to arrange for them. I didn't really care anymore to, be in, even arrange. Um, but after some weeks passed and in consultation with my mother, she actually said, "Hey, this is what he would have wanted." Um, and because he was, my number one supporter, my number one fan, I don't know how he used to do it. He would, whatever activity that I was in, whether it be in Trinity College, whether it was athletics, football, cadets, pan, he would drop me, pick me up, stay there, wait. Late hours in the pan yard, I'm going home sort of 2, 3, 4 in the morning, and he had to get up to go to work, and then and I have never met anyone who have ever said anything apart from he was such a nice guy, such a kind guy, and there was so much friends of mine, friends of my brothers who said that, yo, your father was, he so cool, so nice, so different, so supportive, always encouraging. Um, always had, kind words. As I say, if I had 1/10 of his personality stuff, I would be so great. Me, you won't hear them think about me. Talking about legacy, who added? Who?
No,
But
he was an awesome. Oh my God,
yeah,
he was
yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
But he and your
Yeah,
mother, they laid that foundation for you and your
yes,
siblings,
correct,
build upon.
correct, correct. And a second time that I just thought, you know what, I'm just gonna just, I want to say, yes, pan was not as important as it used to be. Was the passing of my older brother Hermes, and that was, oh, that was devastating. Um, now everyone loses someone, so I'm not unique in that position.
Yeah,
But my pain was unique because everyone's pain is different. Yeah, you
different.
may think you understand, but everyone's pain is different. And it happened over the COVID period where, in fact, we couldn't even travel um, to see our final farewells. And that was, that put me in such, in like doldrums of depression. Um, Again, thank goodness it was short lived, but I actually didn't care about anything. I just, but again, found strength with my mother. She is so amazing and strong, and the pillar and the rock and the
Yes.
beacon, and I don't know how she do it, how she to do it. And my siblings, and we are also in the process of having a foundation in his name,
That's wonderful.
where we are giving back to, you know, young people that are most at risk, the vulnerable, because he had so many opportunities to have left Success Laventil and go to other schools and become principals, and he turned it down. He loved those kids. He loved the community, um, and yeah, he was
Yes.
just an
He
amazing
saw
person too.
his children. Those were
Yeah,
wonderful.
correct. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, um, those were some points in my time where I just wanted to basically stop everything. I didn't have those sorts of challenges in say in the Panyard where, be it management or whatever, frustrating me to point, because that comes with the territory. You know, you deal with all sorts, but it has always been more the sort of personal attachment and dealing with loss. Again, as I say, everyone deals with loss. Every everyone emotions and pain. Um, it's different. It's unique, and I have again. I when I look back, because when you're in it, when you're in that in the eye of the storm, it's pressure. But when I look back, I always fortunately come out and be a better person and do more to help more. So I'm in the service of others, especially when I come out of my low points.
So the service actually helps you to rise.
Yeah.
Arden, this has been wonderful. Is there anything else you'd like to share with, before we close?
Um, well, I mean, I want to take this opportunity again to thank you, all the teachers at Trinity College that helped me along the way, um, the elders in Invaders, um, again, my parents, my mother, my siblings, my family, my kids, my wife, um, management of the bands that I've been involved with, players, because players are number one always. Um, and last but not least, I want to thank God for the multiple blessings that I have had. Um, I'm just again, I'm so blessed. Um, I would advise anyone, whether it be in music or in any venture, never give up. Keep trying. Um, you know, don't give up because you're tired.
Right.
Give up because you're done. When you finish, that's when you say, okay, but never give up because you are tired. And don't be afraid to unfail. Now, I know that sounds weird. They're like, who wants to be a failure? But I don't know of anyone, toddler, infant, that stood up and said to walk. You have to fall down.
You have to fall. You have to
You
fall.
have to
That's how
fall
you learn.
down. Right. And yeah, and what's important is what you do when you get up. Um, I'm sure we have heard the story about Edison with the light bulb, how many times he failed.
Field. Mm-hmm.
And when he was asked, well, he said, well, at least that I know 999 of these things don't work. So that in failure, you realize, okay, this don't work. I'm going to try something else. Um, so yeah, don't be afraid of the fail. Failure is the stepping stone to success. It's the only way.
Failure is a stepping stone to success.
Because
You're dropping some nice nuggets
well, I
gems
mean,
here.
yeah, I mean, because I've heard these from people along. You get so much. You hear so many things. Um, you know, and especially when you're young, be a sponge. Soak it up. Don't be a filter because we have too many filters. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to do this. Soak it
Okay.
up and then
That is.
decide. Okay. So yeah, but I mean, Pan has given me a voice. Pan has given me a platform. Pan has given me blessings. I was able to get a scholarship, able to pursue a degree. And talking about the degree, on a side note, I always joke with my fellow colleagues and say that we have the curse of the degreed arranger, because to my knowledge,
Mm.
large band. There are no large band arrangers that have won who had an academic degree, had an
Ah,
academic music degree. Large band. I don't know of any.
whoa.
I
That's
don't know
that's a
of
good one
any
to know.
who won Panorama
Yeah.
with an academic music degree. No, I'm not speaking about an honorary degree and stuff. No, I'm saying when the school study music and
Yeah.
yeah, so yeah, while we got the degree, and we always joke about it and say, well, who's going to be the first to break that curse? No, and again, I'm not speaking, I'm not speaking about single and small and medium. No.
Mm.
Large is large.
Large, large. Yes.
So yeah, so we're gonna see. No, I may be wrong, but I don't think that I am.
I can't think of anybody, but I'm sure we'll find out if we're wrong.
Yes, woo! Boy, will I find out. And maybe I will have to compose something or write a book or something based on what may have been thrown.
So this will be a failure. You
And
got
okay,
it wrong.
and I'm speaking specifically Trinidad. I
Yes,
I right. I am not speaking and anyway. I'm speaking the Mecca.
yes, yeah. Wow. Um, now, remember your homework. You gotta get Seagull, right? Because we have the website, Keep Your Joy
Yes,
and Rise. And
yes.
I'm going to put all those links. I'm going to put the links here too to some of the music as well.
Okay. All
Yes.
right. All right. All right. Well, it has been, listen, it has been a pleasure. It has been a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me. Um, and I will keep you informed. I will always be checking in with Dr. B.
Good.
And and I'll advise all the participants and listeners to spread the word. This podcast is going to be the greatest thing since sliced bread. All right?
Slice bread. I like that. God, boy. Well, we deserve to go and have a sandwich now.
As long as it's not a restaurant with the with the burger, the cook. Yes, okay.
You have to give that. You have to tell. You have to tell. You have to tell about that one.
Okay, fine. So so while on tour with Trin and Dr. B, we went to a restaurant. Now, again, I grew up very humble beginnings. I mean, if in fact, I mean, our parents back then, they would cook. They, they would cook so that we didn't eat out, like how now, every corner is a fast food restaurant. We didn't have that. So, some people, people say, "Oh, you all didn't have the luxury." We actually were much healthier. But we'll talk about that's a different discussion. So right, so we are in Miami, and I believe it was the same night after the performance, the flawless
Wonderful
performance
performance.
after the boomerang footwear.
Yes, which
Right.
I deny. I deny.
No,
But
what I said, it
no,
felt like I didn't see. So we went to a restaurant, and I'm there with my menu and stuff. So, it was Dr. B and her sister and brother.
mhm.
And so, everyone is ordering, and the waitress came to get my order. So maybe I was a bit tired. I'm not making an excuse. So this is not a pre sort of excuse, but what I heard
Sounds like a
from the waitress
pre-excuse.
was no, I said that I wanted a hamburger. So with cheese and stuff, so cheeseburger, nice, it looked really nice on the menu. I like myself. So she said, okay, what now? I'm gonna give you the two versions. What I heard was, how would you like your hamburger? Cooked? So I said, yes, cooked. She, she looked at me and said, I mean medium, rare, or well done. I was like, oh. And, the whole table looked at me like, okay. And so that's it. Well done. So it's only after that I said, maybe she said, "How do you want your hamburger cooked?" Because I even remember you saying, "Hey, you expected raw hamburger? It must be cooked." Um, but you know what? That was an experience that it was funny, but it was a learning experience because trust when I say, when I go to restaurants now, I know how to order, when to order, etc., etc., etc. Those are one of the memorable moments that I shared with you that we're sharing to the world now. Um, but it was funny. We laughed. We always laughed about it.
We did.
How do you want your hamburger
Oops.
cooked? That's what I heard. That's my perspective. So that's what
So that is the that is the title of this conversation. How do you want your hamburger? Cooked? Grammar, boy. Grammar is important.
I amazing, amazing. Those, yeah, it's just amazing. It's so that the boomerang, the hamburger episodes, those things stay with me. It is so meaningful. It is you have no idea, Dr. B. It's so meaningful. Um, it may seem to some, what's so funny about that? But it was meaningful. And I'm glad that I share those moments with none other than you, the superhero.
Thank you.
Superhero Dr. B.
Arden, I'm so proud of you and everything that you've done and everything that you're doing and you're going to do. And
Okay,
I'm excited to hear about the initiative with Invaders and look forward to hearing more about it and seeing it
okay,
in action. So,
okay.
thank you. Have a
Pleasure.
wonderful, wonderful, wonderful night and
Okay.
big hugs to all your little ones.
Be sure to tune in to the next episode of Checking In with Dr. B. Take care and be safe.
Welcome to Checking In with Dr. B. In addition to our video podcast, we invite you to join our Jumpstart network at keepyourjoyandrise.com. There you'll have access to questions and answers with our guests, virtual meetups, and opportunities to suggest and participate in workshops and spur of the moment talk and jam sessions. We are creating a community of positive thinkers and doers. Come join.